Good evening, everyone. My name is Ani, and I'm founder of Talent Spotify. And he's Prashant, and he's co-founder of Talent Spotify. So, before going into that, I think most of you already see the pitch of this, but whomever it is new people, I'm just telling this point. What is that we are doing on this one? As you are students, so you might be just looking into your marks generally. That's where actually your motivation compared to your peers, right? That's how it will work. So there should be some motivation. End of the day, if you are just coming up in the top, then there will be some sort of certification, some sort of cash reward, something will be given to you, which is promoted to the next semester or maybe next year, right? So similarly, whenever you are working as an employee, okay, similarly they are also working. They should not work in the same salary. They should not work on the same kind of a job what they are doing. And over the period of time, what will happen? It is a kind of a daily routine, right? What they are doing on this one, it is a kind of there is no motivation to go for a next level on this, right? So there should be some goals should be there. Everybody, okay, how to achieve that goal at this point, okay. And most of the things when we are just looking into that, the biggest thing what we observe out of the companies, most of the employees are leaving from the companies just because of managers. It's not about the good company or bad company. There is no good company or bad company. There is a good manager and bad manager. That's it. As a simple. If the company is a so great company, but if your manager is bad manager, then there is no point for you. Like you don't have a growth, then there is no point. Even the company is good, right? So as a career perspective, as an employee perspective, right? So that's the crucial part where we have identified. Once the people have started leaving from the company, according to Deloitte, it is approximately it takes $4,000 in US for hiring a non-executive person. Whereas in India, it takes approximately 25,500 rupees to hire or direct or indirect replacement of the person, including recruitment, onboarding, and as well as their initial learning curve. It is not about the hiring a person, it is not going to be survive the purpose, right? You have to bring them on board and you have to make them to be learn so far to bring them on board to whomever the resource, whomever it is leaving, right? It is going to take some time and that time is calculated in money. Then if you can calculate all these things, it is a huge loss if the person, whomever it is, you are just throwing out from your organization or leaving out by voluntarily, it is a big challenge. And the most important thing after the pandemic, what we have seen is something called as a hybrid working model. It is what actually that's what actually now it started. What is hybrid working model? People are working from remote. Some people are working from office. It is kind of a vice versa. It is happening. There is something called as a proximity bias. This is what actually recently started. What is this is about? People whomever it is working from office, that is physically whomever it is working through closely to the managers, they are getting bit managers are bit biased. People whomever it is working closely in a physically, people whomever it is working remotely, even though they are working more productive, it's not visible their efforts. This is the problem is started coming up. And on because of this problem, there is something called as a quiet quitting is started. I thought like you, most of you heard about it. This is the new word you are hearing about it. Quiet quitting. What does that mean? Means people will never say that one, like, I have a problem over here. They will simply put the papers and they will leave out. That's it. And you don't know what is the damage it's going to be happen by the time you realize it's the damage is already happened. Right? So this is the core problem. What is happened? I thought, um, let me just tell you, last week, I guess, there is a quarterly results came up from TCS and Infosys and Wipro. If you can see that, the attrition rate is drastically gone out and that impacted their share price has been come down. One of the reason. This is the one of the major. Currently, it was happened last time is 22% in a month, which is a top notch higher. And that's one. What is so not supposed to touch an 18%, 17% is the rate, but 14 is the healthy. Ideally, it is coming up around 17 to 18, and the last quarter it was touched 22% on that one. Just because there are two reasons, and one is the thing moonlighting. people are just started up opposing the moonlighting jobs. Now that's what actually is happening right now. People are doing two jobs on this one, and some companies are not encouraging, and some companies are encouraging now. So people should be realizing that there is a trend is changing on this one going forward. It's not like you cannot think like as a traditional mindset that people are going to stick to the one company. If you have a skill, people are trying to sell that skill, sell the talent on this one, and demand is more, talent is less. That's what actually is happening. That's the reason this moonlighting is started. And I guess Tech Mahindra is Mr. Anand Mahindra is already openly said we are happy to encourage the moonlighting jobs, whereas Infosys, Wipro, they are opposing that one the other way. Okay, so the trends are changing. All this because of talent, where people has to retain on this one. So these are the main key areas where we have picked up the ideas on this one. So why we picked up on these areas? Because I came from the same background, which I have worked since last 20 years onwards on the complete the HR tech domain, especially in terms of a performance reviews and linking to the career development, talent management, IT, and as well as the business side. I have worked in some companies. Hope you are aware of Emirates Airlines. I'm just naming few of that. Emirates Airlines, MR Properties, Group MR Properties, and AT&T. You would have seen that one. And this one. These are the companies where I have worked. I'm just naming few of that. So when we just looked into that, I ran the process with that literally with all kind of a verticals. It includes aviation, retail, and real estate. All these people, and we have seen each person's company's vertical employees mindset is different. The evolution mindset is different, and managers' evolution mindset is different. So it is not the same. You should not evaluate the same person, whomever it is working in real estate, should not be treated the same way. Evaluate. You should not do that in hospitality industry, because hospitality industry is more customer facing people on this one. For example, if a waiter is unhappy, that impacts, that frustration is of waiter impacts your guest service, and eventually that causes a bad rating in booking.com, or it may be any of the hotel reviews, right? And over the period of time that impacts your brand image. That is how it is going to be turned out on this one. For example, most of you are not aware of that one, how the aviation industry works. If any pilot salary is not incremented properly, what he will do? He will just go around that one with the flight with full of fuel. Unless it is not being closed, the fuel is completed, he will not land. He will say that one, I don't have a visibility. Nobody cannot question him on that one. So those kind of things in a detail level, deep level, if you go into the digger level, you can see that one, that is the impact is translated into the money is an indirect impact. So that's the reason I always say that one, keep the employees to be happy and as well as motivated on that one. Okay. So that's the area where we have taken out as a bias of evaluation of performance and the lack of recognition and motivation. And of course, organizations are suffering with higher attrition rates, poor user experience. Yes, there are a lot of systems are available. Yes, it is not that we are not the one who is coming up with the bloom out of the moon. We are not coming on this one. There are a lot of systems are available. For example, especially with my experience, most of you are aware of that hospitality industry works in a different way. I'm just giving an example, especially hospitality, because people are aware of that one, how it is being connected. Hotels, there will be a brand name will be there. There are two people will be there, operators and owners. Operator is nothing but of where the person whomever it is running a brand name. Owner is the people whomever it is owning the property. Let's take an example. Novotel is an operator. Owner is somebody who is owning the property of the building, right? When it is coming into that, owner is looking always for the profit and loss. Okay, he don't want to spend any money in terms of extra money, cautious about it. Okay, when operator is rolling out his software, whatever it is his software, he wants to mimic the same software to the new property owner. He will say that I don't want to spend this much of money, and you just come up with the local software, whatever it is there, you just pay it to me, that's enough. Because that's where actually the problems will be started, and they have to compromise with the local vendor whomever it is coming up cheaper version on this one, and they will come up and the company will shut down after 2 days. That's what actually it happens. So that's the reason we have written as a poor user experience and proximity bias. So out of these problems, what we have done, We just come up with that one simple product which is called as a Talent Spotify as a platform. What it does, Talent Spotify is a B2B SaaS platform. It helps the companies to achieve their employees' results by asking questions based on their current performance, and it evaluates based on their responses. At the same time, rewards and recognitions will be given based on their scientific analysis of their achievements. At the same time, it works in a simple way. Employee sets a goals. Like every year, starting of the year, I will say that one. Employee says that one. Okay, I will achieve. Let's take an example as a programming perspective. I will develop maybe a 5 apps this year. That's what actually he just put it as a target by himself. And manager reviews the progress. Yes, he approves that, like, okay, he developed the 5 apps, then it's fine. He's happy with that and he approves that one. Then he will get rewards based on that one. If you develop one app, then you will get some sort of rewards, and that rewards can be redeemed through monetary, like as a book my show tickets, or could be a Netflix vouchers, or anything can be redeemed, or it can be redeemed through non-monetary rewards like leave credits, flexible working hours, whatever it is. It's a coffee with CEO. Whatever it is your wish, you can do that one in a both ways. That's the flexibility what we have given. So it is a combination of data science and behavior science. That's what actually we are bringing together into one platform. So it will ask simple one question like, how is your performance on this one? Maybe a manager is a subjective mindset. He will say that he is good, bad, whatever the subjective mindset, he will be saying that. The next question will ask whether the employee is delivering his work on time or late. So if he says late or on time, then the next question will appear how many bugs in his work, whether it's a more bugs, less bugs, whatever it is on this one. So our system will analyze the patterns of the response what manager is giving. At the same time, the responses what peers are giving, and compares the both responses, and it will see that one there is something anomaly is detected by the manager's response and peer's response. Then it will highlight the case to HR, saying that HR, you need to work it out here with the manager as a counsel, because there is a difference gap is coming up on this one. So it will highlight the cases where it before reaches the result to the employee, it goes to be back to the manager and it being corrected, and it will be treated properly as a transparent evaluation. That's the whole objective of that. Now coming to that, where is the behavior science is coming into picture? So what we have done, see most of the cases, whatever the setting and objectives, setting the rewards and recognition, whatever it is, redemption, you can see many platforms on this one. Out of there, even I have seen around 200 plus platforms is having the same thing. What is we are special on this one, which is combination of data science plus behavior science. What we are coming, that's the special what we are into that. How we are special? Let's take an example. There is a chatbot of ours. It will be asking a questions to the employees as a simple questions. What is the one thing you would like to change from your manager? Okay. So employee has to type the answer. Whatever the answer he has there, he has to type the answer. That answer, we will send it to our data science model, and our model tells that the sentence, whatever the response is given, whether it's a positive or it's a more positive, whether it's a negative or it's a neutral, that is a sentence. It will give me the predicted the value. What is that outcome is going to give it to me. The same question will be asked to peers, and same question will be asked to the manager. Now we will see the patterns. What is the response is coming up on this one from the various people. Then analysis of the patterns and summarizes that one. This is what the result is. That's how we are using the proper machine learning use case. What we are using is here as the ML part here. Okay. Now where is the behavior science is coming into that? This is a open questions. Yes, it is fine. There are competencies to be evaluated, like how is the employee's communication? Okay, whether he exhibits his communication all times or no times, sometimes or whatever it is. That close-ended competency questions we will be asking through the chatbot, and we will analyze the answers. Currently, employees rated as 3. Let's take an example, 2 or 3 out of 5 scale. In next review, which is coming up in next quarter, how can he improve to 2 becomes 3 or 3 becomes 4? If he is already 5, then how can he sustain 5? Our behavior science, where we will say that one, this is the coaching part and this is the behavior science model what you are supposed to be used to continue the same thing to improve your results. That's where actually our core USP on this one. So we have prepared our questionnaire about the competencies across the industries, and we have prepared so far 50 plus competencies. We have prepared our question bank, which we are refining on that. And that's the reason we are the first one into the market in terms of objective approach of ML and DL, and which we have already showed up in one of our Tech HR conference, the first Tech HR, as a pre-launch kind of a thing where we have shown up on this one. I don't know how many of you know Darwin Box. Most of you know that Darwin Box is one of the first unicorn in HR tech, and Darwin Box would like to have as a top layer of ours as their on top of their HRMS platform. That's what actually they're looking into that one. Once our product is ready, and they would like to see that one. And at the same time, we are going to make ourselves not to compete with the HRMS products or typical Oracle, SAP, SuccessFactors. We are going to be a complementary layer. So we will be always on top of their cloud. We will be there one layer, which is going to be a talent piece of layer. We are going to be adding as a plug-on to the enterprise solutions. For smaller companies, we will be using as an entire talent suite. That's what actually our target approach on this one, how we are going to do that. Second thing, when we are doing as a goals, we are digging into that level into the tasks to be created. So yesterday we have demonstrated to one of the non-profit organization, and they were about to go live by next month. What they said, they are currently using Asana as their platform, where they are just using their projects and all, they are maintaining their tasks. By seeing this one, what they said, we will drop our Asana licenses and we want to migrate it here because we can measure performance along with the tasks and projects. For their small company, they can use both. So now we come up with a new angle where we can be a replacement of the product management tools like Asana and Jira, where for the small and medium companies, why do they need to spend much more licenses over there? So we are going to be a replacement for them in terms of Asana or Jira. This is going to be a come up with that for a small and medium companies. Of course, larger companies, enterprises, they will use it. That's continuously on this point. So that's the main objective. That's where actually our competitive advantage. And this is our team. We both are here. And apart from that, we have mix of data scientists and as well as our React.js developers, full stack developers, and as well as, of course, here one behavior scientist also there. So all these people are the team, and we thankfully we must have to say thanks to Mr. Ravi Garu because he has provided us incubation center for a week for us. For the entire team was here last week, and we worked hard, and then we put it into UAT for our first customer. So we are going live by next 2 weeks on this one. So that's what actually our team. And this is what actually currently we are at the pre-revenue stage. As currently we are working with these two, as these two are the customers, we are starting at the pre-launch stage itself. So once we are just going to be launched, these are the customers which are ready for that. And currently we were working with the both are in a free model, freemium model, and for 3 months we are working with them. And whereas the remaining customers, hopefully they will be paid customers on this one. They are waiting. I am Shillong. Yeah. So they are the one actually they would like to launch in the month. Gulf Capital is from UAE, and Ecom Express is from Delhi, and 3DM is from Hyderabad-based digital marketing agency. Below is the Ola is a Chicago-based non-profit organization, which is a Chicago-based non-profit organization. Ola, Ola. So it is about the human rights organization. They are talking about the African human rights organization. Very small company. It is all about 15 employees and 40 volunteers. So they want to track their volunteers' progress through our platform. That's what actually they want to see that. Like, for example, their social media, Instagram followers is 20,000. Now they want to increase to 20,000 to 50,000. They want to track it through our program. So how they can track it? No, we will be just, they will be tracking the entire thing as in our platform, like how to improve in this one, what are the steps they are taking, what is the progress they are doing, how many posts they are putting, every information they will be tracking over here. That's what they are doing. Another one is App Streams, which is our company only. So there we are just going to experimenting another consulting company on this one. We are trying on our the same thing platform to first we have to try it ourselves on this one, whether it is really working or not on this. So that's the reason we are working on it. And of course, we are just going directly with the known customers because with our networks itself, it's coming approximately 20 plus customers, which is coming up on that. So we will be going with that only for the first 20 customers without any marketing or anything on this one. These 20 customers, out of that, if they can turn into 10 customers, then that's more than enough. And out of that, if it is a 3 or 4 customers paid, that's more than enough for us. So after that, we will be going for that partner-based selling, which is already ready with that. We are already in discussion with the Darwin Box, and we are already in discussion with Arc Consulting in Dubai based. So which is having a management consulting. Generally, what will happen is most of the companies will offering a management consulting. They will be looking, okay, can you just do a process re-engineering on this one? While doing a process re-engineering, they will ask what are the tools that can be suggest your process. So they will be suggesting our tools on this one. That's how we are just going to be tied up with them. And of course, we are targeting only for the initial ones. These are the only industries what we are targeting. So we don't need to teach them what is objectives and key results and all these things because these industries are already matured enough. So they know that one what is OKRs and everything. Especially startups nowadays, they know what is OKRs and they have to keep it their OKRs also. So that's the reason. And it's also subscription based model. So we are just offering in 3 models: basic, pro, and enterprise model. So we are just keeping it as a every employee it is as 150 rupees, which is a $2. We are keeping it as that only for the objectives and as well as rewards and recognition. Whereas if the reviews is going to be added, which is our core ML and data science part, which is having a $5. That's what actually we kept it as because that's my sorry per employee per month per employee per month. That's what actually we are doing on this one. So of course that we are going to sell it out only for the UAE and as well as US customers at the reviews first initially part on this one. But OKRs we are just going to be launched out only for the India customers for all the platform to be tested. So we want to have a more data to be there in our platform. Then it works as a mission science on this one. That's how we will work. Of course, we have started on Q4 21. That's where actually our idea is started. We have registered our company in February 11th, and now we are at MVP stage. Now we are about to launch by next week our first version of the product. Then after that, we will be rolling out to 2, 3 customers. We'll try. Then after that, we are going to come up with that review part and as well as rewards recognition will be added. That's how we are going to come up. And coming back to that, we were already funded at the ideation stage itself by Pontech. Initially, even we don't have a wireframe itself at that moment. The concept itself has been sold. So initially, we have just been supported by STPI on this, and we have already presented this pitch at the Tech HR conference at the Asian Big Tech HR conference, and they have featured as the next going to be biggest HR and work tech startup is going to be happen. Most potential is there. That's how we have just come up with that. Of course, we have participated in AHub also, AHub also, couple of competitions. So that's all from my side. So if anyone is having any questions, I'm happy to answer. No, we are registered in Bangalore, currently our office, but okay. NSRCL, we are already a part of pre-incubation. We are at NSRCL. We are as a Launchpad 21 program. We are, and as well as we are part of Wadhwani's Lift Off program also. We have selected both programs. NSRCL's Launchpad is already completed for us. And now we are into Velocity program. We have selected for Velocity program for their growth stage startups to be come up on that. And this one, Lift Off program also same thing. Wadhwani Activate program we have already completed and they promoted us to Lift Off program also. So that's how we are into that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, please. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Thanks. Thanks. See, basically, this is the platform what we are looking into that. Okay. So employee well-being, what you said is comes under employee well-being. Basically, this is what actually now it's the latest after post-pandemic. It's been coming up on this one, where it requires the 8 hours sleep is mandatory for every employee to come up into the next day work. That's how it has been started. See, basically, we are just making as a platform on this one. Okay, our platform is going to be given to them as a put their goal as a employee well-being should be there. Employee has to be sleep at least, like employee has to be so and so. BMI index needs to be maintained all the years. Some jobs might be required on this one, so that they have to put their goal in our platform. That can be done as a platform. What we are going to tell them, our prediction model, what we are going to do is we are just going to as a product roadmap, as a part of product roadmap, what we are doing is we are doing as a SWOT analysis. Okay. What we are giving as a SWOT analysis, that means employee SWOT analysis. What we are doing? Yeah, employee SWOT analysis. What is employee SWOT analysis is nothing but a, see, basically we already said there is a open-ended questions we will be asking to the employee, right? Where employee tells the answers and that attributes our data science model will give that whether it's a more positive or more negative will come up. Let's assume that a question will be asked to the employee. He gives answer as a positive. Okay. Manager is said negative. Peers are saying average. 5 peers, if you can ask, 5 peers said average is also negative. That means it is a blind spot of the weakness where employees unknown weakness. That means employee feels that I am good at communication, but everybody is saying that you are not good at communication, right? That comes under weak area. That's how we are going to categorize. Same thing. If employee says I am negative about my communication, whereas manager says positive, peers are saying that means it's your blind spot of your strength, hidden strength of yours. That's how we are categorized to spots in strengths. Whereas the same thing, various parameters we will be asking that point. Like, when is the employee's joining date? When is the last promotion date? When is the last incrementation salary date? When is his line manager's last promotion date? Why? Because we will go into the dig into the details. If manager is not promoted, then how he will be promoted? So we will be categorizing all these parameters. We will be analyzing with our model. We will say that he can be a potential lever, or he can stay sometime, or where it requires a coach that will comes under threats and opportunities. That's how we are going to come up. For well-being, also one of the factor where we are considering on this one, how many times he applied a sick leave. That is also one of the factor where we will be considering, and we will check it out on this one. So these are the parameters how we will be checking to come out into the AI model, which is giving as a SWOT analysis, which is a predictive analysis, which we want to do it only after maybe mid of next year. We want to do that. So once we have a data, then with our existing customers, we already said whomever the customers which we are rolling out, we already told them we are going to give the review product, whomever it is now at this moment, this year sign up the order, they will be getting as a review product next year as a free. So that's how we are just going to be projecting ourselves on this one. So it's a pre-launching part, and we will be conducting a bigger event for the all HR tech in terms of maybe we are looking for the location, whether it could be a Vizag or Bangalore. So we are just going to start one HR tech event only specifically for the HR specific. So hopefully we will be launching on this one as a presenting that one. So any other questions? Okay. Total market size for the global talent market size as of now is a $7.5 billion at this moment, and expected by 2027 it is at $17 billion with the 12.1 CAGR. And our SOM, where we have taken out only for the Oracle and SAP, which is the leading player, where they have taken as that one. Out of 10%, even if I am taking on this one, which comes under as approximately 1 billion as a SAM part. And if I'm taking as a SOM part, if I'm just service obtainable market, if I'm taking on this out of that, which is coming up as 100 million, only if I'm considering US, UAE, and as well as India markets. These are the three markets. If I can target for this part, it will work, because the similar sign of line where there is a something called as a people box, okay, which is a last year California based one of the startup where they have done it. It was approximately they have just made it as a revenue of $20 million in a year. Out of that, only for the OKR platform. That means only objectives and key results. Even they don't have a review part. So we are doing with the reviews and rewards part, which is close to that one, and we are hoping that one it will come up much more values on this one. And if it everything works, and if it is everything executes fine, and I hope sky is the limit. That's what actually we are thinking of this scale. Sorry, any competitors for you in India? India, PeopleBox is, for example, PeopleBox and Mesh.ai. They are India-based companies only, where California guys have just already picked up them, and they put their main offices into California on this one. India, these are the two companies from India only. These two are the one. And there is something called as the Infido, which was is called as Amber. That is one of the company, one of the competitor. And even in fact, when I was in MR, and I have given the first opportunity for them, they are also employee engagement as a chatbot only. They will not do anything on this one, whether the chatbot, and they will tell you based on the answers whether the employee stays or not, less happy or not happy. That's what actually they will say. There is another company called as a Lena.ai, which is also AI based chatbot, and this is also a chatbot. And but this chatbot will tell you, like at the time of joining, what is your happiness on this one, those kind of things, onboarding time on this one. More or less, the model is common, but they never worked on performance reviews part. They didn't come up on that. Infido recently they are trying to come up on this one. Now we need to see what is the results of that. That's a discussion point. That's it. So, not really a question, but I think I have some discussion points on the tech front. With the behavioral science and ML crossover that's happening, the synergy that's happening. For ML, we would need a good set of data points to be able to judge and bring out any outcome. But if we take an average project manager has like a team of 15 to 20 on average, and reviews happen once every quarter. Correct. Let's see. So you'll have like 15 data points on each individual. Are they enough to be able to judge on an individual's various personal traits, be it communication or character? That's something I'm. Very good question. So the same thing. See, it's a 15 data points from the manager perspective. Same thing. I will ask the same questions to peers also. Okay. Same question will be asked to peers, which is peers can be 3 number or it could be a 5 numbers. 5 multiplied with the 15. Same questions will be asked to the various 5 people. Okay. So these 5 set and manager set 6 data points where I will be getting as a from one employee in a 6 dimensions I will get it. Okay. At the initial stage, answer is yes. It is a less data for that. Over the period of time where the reviews is happening quarter to quarter, it will go and mature the employee. That is the reason we are not even rolling out the reviews at this moment. We are rolling out only for the objectives and key results because we want to have a more data points over here. From there onwards, it will be easy for me to compare the data. See, for example, as an employee, you might be getting as a rating of 4. Company's average rating is, if I take it out as a 3, so I can easily compare with that analysis. Otherwise, I can't do that with the much data points. Yes, you rightly said. Yes, I can't do that much data points. There is nothing is there. If you don't have a data, there is no ML. There is no behavior science, right? So with the small set of data, you can't do that one. So that's the reason reviews we have postponed to quarter 2. That's the reason. So, yeah, thank you. From what I understand is that basically you have a set of questions, uh, mostly some algorithm based, the machine learning based, and you're taking concept of it and you're making some class kind of thing, right? Correct. I just want to know, are you sure you can judge a person just based on questionnaire, the kind of answer he gives? Yeah. See, basically what will happen is first quarter people don't know and they will give a genuine answers. Quarter 2 onwards, they know that what is the pattern is coming up and people will start giving what is the answer I am supposed to give it to that one, and algorithm they know that one, right? That's how it is going to be works. So what will happen? Yes, it is genuinity part. As of now, the model part, what we are giving as a sentences perspective, regular. Let's take an example. If I'm doing a sentiment analysis, if I'm running out of that, and the model accuracy approximately 92% at this moment. With the various Twitter data, feed data we have tried out with that 92% accuracy on this one. Okay. Of course, you will never get 100% accuracy on this one. Data will be coming up over the period of time. The model will be matured on this one. That's how it will work it out on this one. Any data science models, it will never be 100%. It starts with 72% to 92%. That's how it will work. So it will always lies on that one. Judging a person, yes, definitely it is not only the parameter, the major parameter which will be coming up into the OKR part. When it is coming into the performance bonus rewards, that's the reason we kept it as a goals as a first set of rolling out. Let's take an example. Your target is 5 million. You are supposed to generate a revenue. If you generated 3 million, that means you have generated only 60% of objective. It's very clear, right? For me, okay, you have achieved only 60%. So based on that only, we will provide a reward points to you. Okay, so that's the reason we are coming up. Judging a person, we are not judging a person at this moment. That's the reason, because the model has to be matured on this one. Once we are confident and we will experiment with the various companies, once it is crosses to more than 92%, then we will roll it. Until that point, it will not work. 92% is the accuracy. That's it. Maximum to maximum, with my understanding, Oracle model itself is coming up 95%. That's it. So why we are asking is because whenever there are two type of employees. Okay, the one who join, who really wants to work in the company, and one who want to leave the company. The one who wants to work in the company will give a good review. Correct. Generally. Yeah. Right. And when you want to leave the company, it will be like what will happen, right? Correct. So the difference is how we are going to judge it. Yeah. Judging is that is the one. Whomever it is giving a bad review, that means he is a potential leaver where they need to work it out. I'm not judging on this one. I'm highlighting the case to HR where it requires a counsel to this employee. Hey, he might be just leave us on this one early. So just be careful. Take care of this employee. In this case, generally, I mean, no employee will try to give a negative review. That's the reason we are asking questions as an anonymous part. We are not asking right by showing their name. Generally, if you just consider this event per se, if a local will come and ask, I say very good. Yeah, yeah. If he asks directly to one on one, everybody says very good. Say, no, no, don't do that. So generally, it all depends upon the. Generally, to be frank, the employees are also very smart. Correct. So generally don't give a negative review most of the time, unless if he has very grudge about that particular manager. That's different case. So I don't know how in that case it is different from what you have. No, it is not the case, because when I see the reviews, because we have run the surveys, if I mark it as an employee name to be visible, everybody will give us a very good reviews. The moment I say that you are anonymous, then people will started giving some sort of genuinity will come up. At least some sort of genuinity. Yes, 100%. Nobody will not give it. Also saying this employee can leave, right? Yeah. In that case, that immediately you are saying you are going to give the data to the company, no? Employee can leave. That's what we are highlighting to HR. So HR needs to work it out, right? I think it's just going on. We need to move to the next one. So most of the time when we do this as service, right? So question, answer. So any data model. So if we talk about an employee, like it is an employee-centered organization, how do we make it so subcontextual that the interactions that the employee does, that somehow forms a feedback loop into the system that is analyzed. So unless we do so we get surveys every 3 months or 6 months or so saying that, see, for our organization we do care form. So they call it as a care form. So we feel like what we did, and in some way it goes into the OKR loops and all that. Now, only once in 3 months that is done, and we know that is being asked for a specific purpose, and managers to observers also know that from time to time it's go to a reviewer and all that. And on the other side, there are tools like this that are basically analyzing and saying this is a flight risk or this is whatever it is. Right? But uh, if you observe the most successful systems, I'm not sure if I'm making a suggestion here, but I think it becomes an input in some way. And what I'm trying to say is, if we gather data in a subcontextual way in the employee's natural environment of however their interactions with their colleagues and all of that. And here, let's say, here's my colleague, right? And if I know that it's going to negatively impact him if I say something, and even though I know it is anonymous, I might not want to do it, right? If it is negative, if it is positive, like mostly people say, and you spoke about the Middle East organizations. In Middle East, people don't usually even think about appreciation. So their appreciation is a big thing. In India, appreciation might not be much of a big thing. In US and Europe kind of organizations, appreciation is like a day-to-day thing. Like if somebody does something, even if it is such a small magnitude, they'll say good job and all that. So all I'm trying to say is, how do you bring the natural abstract out of all of this without the participators feeling like they are feeling a survey or question and answer based this thing, which they know this is going to be used in some way. Yeah, yeah. Sure. See, To that, to answer that question, we are thinking in a more advanced feature where we are thinking about it, rather than to have it as a conversation, typing and answers on this one, to just have it as a phone call. Okay, it's an automatic voice part. A phone call will be ringed to you, and how is his performance? Not like that as a direct question. It will be asked about a set of friend questions. It will be what is your relationship with him? How is your, so those kind of a questions will be asked as a phone call kind of a thing. Whatever the answers you are coming up, that will be converted into text, and that's how we are going to tell you that. Rather than typing something, then you will start thinking. When you are talking to that, it's not thinking too much on that, right? So some sort of things will be, of course, 100% natural. No tool in the world it cannot do that, right? You know that. So this is what actually we are thinking as a one of the feature which we are putting in our roadmap on that one. As a phone call, right? Rather than typing as a chatbot on that one. That's the one thing. Okay. Thanks, Anil. I have one question.